Are we all here? Shall we make a start? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Couple of things before we start. Dave and I have been discussing how best we can support you all in the long term. And to be fair, normally, when I do a training anywhere, I always say, you're going to get your questions when you start working with clients. That's when you're going to start getting more questions, thinking, what do I do with this person, or what should I do with this? And although yes, I want you to be good at it, and I want to support you as much as I possibly can. But I've got to bear in mind, which is what I was saying to Dave when Dave was saying, he wants to support people, that I've trained around about 700 people around the world in virtual gastric band. So you can imagine what my inbox sometimes looks like. And of course, I've still got to run a business as well. So we're thinking, how best can we do this, whereby we do almost, Dave and I don't spend all of our time doing nothing but answering everybody else's questions and not actually getting any work done, and not moving anything forward at all. So what we've come up with, and just let me know what you think about this really, is a monthly, almost like peer support group, whereby we're going to do the first Thursday of every month at 6 o'clock online. The first Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. online. So the first meeting would be the 4th of April. We'd ask that people post or email Dave with questions or whatever beforehand, and then we can then, as a group, all get the answers to that. We're also going to set up a Facebook group as well, a closed group, so people can post stuff on there and questions, because sometimes you'll all have the same question, in which case we need to answer it once and everybody knows anyway. So that doesn't prevent you, that isn't to say that you can, in between time, send questions and stuff to us. And all that I would ask really is, if somebody's got questions or wants advice about a client, don't send me an email that's like 10 pages long, and then expect me to email back to it, because I just think it's going to take me an hour to answer this email. It'd be quicker just to talk on Skype. Because maybe if I answer the question, then there's going to be a whole more questions come from it as well. So if you've got a whole load of things that you want to talk about, then just send me a message and I'll set up a Skype call with you. That's not a problem at all. But it's just a way of how we can best support you as much as we possibly can, and still manage that support as well, really. Does that all make sense? Mm-hmm. So you're not obliged, because obviously we've all got, other stuff in our life as well. If you're not available one Thursday, it doesn't matter, and we could maybe then send a summary out of that meeting.
I'll get you all the details, the links and all that kind of thing, and how to access it and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
you should be able to. I believe that we're going to use Uvu, but I'll get everybody up to speed on that.
Okay.
And that actually records the whole thing, so we'll be able to send you a podcast of it, so you can actually watch it and get to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so yesterday we talked about what we were going to do when we got the client into hypnosis. And we were putting a few tools, if you like, in our toolbox of what we can do to help somebody. And the first one was suggestions, just suggestion therapy, and how to formulate those suggestions, and either in a positive direct way or a positive indirect way. So how to phrase our suggestions in such a way that they become more acceptable to the subconscious. So we talked about that, talked a little bit about metaphors and storytelling techniques. And I will make available to you, recordings of certain sessions and things like that I've done, that you can listen to in your own time. What else did we talk about? Oh, we did some regression work as well, didn't we? We did some uncovering some childhood memories, which is quite fascinating, really. The things that come up that you don't think you're going to think about, and you know the emotion that comes with that as well, as though it's almost like it's not happened before. You know, the emotion could be so strong. But it's worth you all experiencing that, because then you know what you're potentially going to get your client to experience. Now, we did it yesterday for uncovering nice memories. The only time I tend to use regression techniques is if somebody's got a fear of something. I've got a fear of spiders. Then the first tack I would take with that client is pure suggestion therapy. You know, because suggestion's given it them in the first place, and maybe suggestion can take it away again. So always keep your sessions very, keep it simple to start with. Don't go on the overcomplicated route. Don't overcomplicate what doesn't need to be overcomplicated.
So does that mean just stop it method?
Yeah, just stop it. You know, no, it's the you can remain calm and relaxed method. If that fails, you move to stop it.
Or I'll bury you in a box full of spiders.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, new clients on that whole spider.
Yeah. If that suggestion therapy doesn't, or it impacts on somebody and that they feel a little bit better about it, but there's still a bit of a goes on about this spider business, then we do sometimes have to find out, okay, where has this come from? In which case you would probably use regression to get to the root cause. And the session would almost go a little bit like, you know, okay, I want you to go back in your mind to the very last time you felt this uncomfortable feeling. Might have been in the last few days, maybe in the last few weeks. And when you're there in your mind with that feeling, I just want you to nod your head so I know. So I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I get to 3, you will go backwards in time to the very first time you felt like that. And they do. They come up with an incident. Just as simple as that, not going on timelines or anything else, just a really simple way of doing it. And in a way then, I can't really tell you what to do with a person when they get there, because it depends what they come out with. But what we do as hypnotherapists is we reframe, what we call reframe that incident. We can't change it because it happened. You know, whatever happened, happened. But we can get somebody to look at it in a slightly different light. So say, for example, I had a lady, and what did she come with? What was her fear? Yeah. Fear of getting into lifts. Fear of enclosed spaces. And did some suggestion work, that didn't work. So, or it improved things slightly, but it didn't get rid of it. So I took her back to the first time she felt like that. And she was 7 years old, and her school were taking them on swimming lessons. And so they all tripped down to the swimming pool every week for swimming lessons. So she went back to being 7 years old, and she was in the swimming pool, unable to get out of it. And what had happened was these other kids had pushed her in, and she couldn't swim. So now you can't change that. It happened. You know, that is what happened. But you can attempt to change how somebody feels and thinks about that incident. Because with the adult's intelligence that we've got, you know, and what you've got to think is that a child's intelligence and an adult's intelligence are two completely different things. And we know that because, you know, you get a child in a supermarket who can't have a bag of sweets. And, you know, they're kicking and screaming and carrying on and snotting and, you know, and to them, that is the most terrible thing in the world, that they can't have this bag of sweets. But to us, as an adult looking at it, you can think, for goodness sake, it's a bag of sweets, you know. And so, you know, we know that a child's intelligence and an adult's intelligence are two completely separate things. And this thing with this not being able to get out was dropped in. And she's maybe, you know, she'd learned to swim since then. So it wasn't the swimming pool thing. It come from not being able to get out. And the subconscious as sort of, with a fear as well, is it tends to go into multiple areas of people's lives. So it's not just, this fear of not being able to get out is suddenly into lifts, enclosed spaces, flying potentially, all sorts of things, all coming from that one incident, almost like a little spider's web that starts to work its way through into other areas. It forms associations. So knowing that an adult's intelligence and a child's intelligence are two completely different things, what I said to her is, okay, so as the adult you are now, what would you like to do to them kids? I'll push them in. I'll push them in, see how that. So go on then. Get them shoved in, all of them. Work your way around them, push them all in. And then I also got the, so it almost made her laugh about it really. And then I got the adult as she is now, the big person that she is now, to fix the little girl. So I want you to talk to that little girl and tell her that everything will be all right and that she doesn't need to worry about it and, that she's going to be fine. So I'm going to go quiet while you talk to that little girl and let her know what she needs to know. Just give the person a bit of quiet time. Nod your head when you've done it. Nod your head when that little girl's all right. So, you can get the adult to fix the child. And then it went. Fear went. And so, and other times we don't even have to reframe an incident because this adult intelligence and child intelligence is completely different. We can sometimes think, once we know where it's come from, we almost consciously analyse that and think, well, I don't need to behave like that because that's insignificant. I had a guy who had I think it was Dave and Eric I was telling actually, he had a fear of blood. And he was only in his 20s, he was a trainee solicitor on criminal law. So he was going to be reading reports about, stabbings, but it was going to involve blood at some point, you could pretty much guarantee that. And every time he even heard a report of it, he felt like he was going to faint. And so that was one of the reasons he wanted to he'd come to a time in life where he thought, I need to sort this out. And the other thing, he was due to have his wisdom teeth taken out at the hospital. So, and when we talk about people spontaneously going backwards in time, this is what happened with him. And I'd asked him, what does he find relaxing? And he liked to go on train journeys where he didn't know where he was going to end up. He didn't really know what the destination was going to be. So I'm doing my induction, and my deepener was waffling on about going on a train journey and, what he might find when he gets there. And at that point, he spontaneously went backwards in time to being 7 years old, without any direction from me whatsoever. He went back to being 7 years old. He was sitting at the foot of his grandma's bed. And his grandma was in hospital and she was dying. Now, he said afterwards, I didn't have a problem with my grandma dying. She was ill, she was sick. I haven't got any problem with that. But he said that all I could see was that cannula in her hand. And there was a great big massive bruise around it. Now, why that would create a fear of blood, we don't really need to know. But that was clear that that's where it all come from. Just by him, in a way, focusing on looking for a solution, his subconscious had spontaneously taken him back to that incident. Now, I didn't really do anything with that on that session. I booked him in to see him the week later, and he came in and he said, actually, I'm all right, don't bother me anymore. Because he knew where it had come from, and he was a fairly analytical person anyway, because the job that he had, it was enough for him to realise, actually, I don't need to think like that. Why would I want to think that? I don't need to think like that anymore. And they almost then fix themselves just because they know where it's come from. So, but those are the only times, if you like, either if somebody does it spontaneously or if it's a fear that doesn't respond to suggestion, that I tend to do this sort of taking somebody backwards in time. So, but so it's interesting what people sort of, come out with, and where you think you're going to go and you don't go, you go somewhere completely different. But we always have to, I can't stress it enough, ask ourselves the question, what is the benefit of doing this to somebody? You know, why do we need to take them backwards in time? Because if you're not careful, you know, you can open a can of worms that you think, oh my goodness, and create more issues, you know. So, you know, you've got to be very clear in your mind what the benefit of is of doing it, what you really want to achieve by doing this. And certainly don't do it sort of lightly, you know. Anybody got any questions about yesterday's?
Well, I'm just curious, if you're doing a regular hypnosis, the suggestive hypnosis session, is it possible that somebody could go back and just start a regression from some traumatic, you know, where they start talking and things of that sort?
Yeah, there is the potential for that.
But it's rare.
Very, very
that's what
rare.
you said, right?
Very, very rare. Yeah.
And I'm asking because my mom, like 20-some years ago, had this horrific car accident. And she was told 20 years ago to never go under hypnosis because it could come up or whatever. And so her and I were talking about it. I'm like, oh, she said it's slim to none, but I wanted to ask and see what you would think about that.
Yeah, I mean, you see, the thing, what somebody's done there, I mean, it's wrong, completely wrong what somebody said there, because that isn't the case. But now that suggestion has been made to her.
So probably just steer away.
So just the fact that that suggestion was being made to her that could happen in hypnosis, it may be enough to make it happen, which it wouldn't have happened. It's a bit like a self-fulfilling prophecy type of thing, you know. But, you know, it's highly unlikely. You know, just because somebody's had a bad experience in their life doesn't mean that when they're hypnotised they're going to revisit it.
But if you reframe it too, and you don't speak of it as hypnosis, but guided imagery or meditation, it may not have the same feel.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So it seems like that would probably be beneficial to use that protocol
Terminology.
to backdoor it kind of thing, so now we haven't elicited or potentially set it up to have that traumatic reaction, and we can get to that and resolve any of the issues with, you know, within that incident.
Yeah, and the other thing we're going to do as well, you know, today is we're going to talk about something called submodalities, where you can sort of, if somebody has had a like a traumatic incident, you can take the feeling out of that, so it doesn't bother them so much anymore, without actually revisiting and reliving it.
Are we there yet?
It's very similar to when I did the lady for a neck pain. You know, we're going to get colours and turn the... You know, somebody's had a... You know, say for example somebody with PTSD. Is that right? Yeah, PTSD. The mind movie they're playing in the head is that incident, whatever it was. It's very loud, it's very colourful, it's very real all of the time. So what we can do is take some of the, if you were to take that as almost like a photograph, a photographic image of that, let's take some of the colour out of it. Let's make it so it's not as bright. Let's blare it around the edges. Let's turn all the sounds down on it. So we're shrinking it down without actually revisiting it.
Are you familiar with the Sedona method? The Sedona method, it's similar in shrinking, like you're visualizing, removing the emotion around that particular incident, but you're, with this one, you're allowing yourself to release that, and you're really feeling that emotion. You're bringing it in, and you know, what does it sound like? What does it feel like? What do you, how does it smell like? You know, just invoking all the senses within that particular situation, but then you're allowing yourself to release it. And some people put it in a fire and burn it.
Yeah.
You're saying, you know, shrinking it. So there's probably all different methods to...
Yeah, it's all really the same thing.
Really isn't.
It's really all the same thing, and it's an NLP technique, neuro-linguistic programming. whereby you're, say, altering somebody's perceptions of something. And yeah, you can shrink it right down so it's like a little dot, and then, you know, okay, when I had it with a lady yesterday, I said, okay, I want you to imagine there's a car pulling up outside. You put it at what's left in the car and watch the car drive off. But it's the same thing, or, you know, build a fire, throw it in the fire, throw it in the rubbish bin, you know, whatever it may be. It's got to be their way of getting rid of it. You know, you can make suggestions how they might do that. But yeah, that's all. It's NLP technique but it's all around this submodalities really.
I'm trying to get a picture of this. So if someone's come to you and they have this post-traumatic event, and you've done all the pre-work, the induction, the deepening, and how do you move into introducing that event, or without saying what it was, or how do you go?
You could say something like it's unwanted images.
Unwanted images, okay.
It's normally they're going to play in a very strong image in the mind.
And so,
Or it might be an image, it might be a feeling that's most for them. You know, you probably get that in the pre-talk from them. You know, okay, so what is it? Is it an image you're playing in your head? Is it sounds? Is it feelings? You
so
know.
what does that sound like if I'm the client and you brought me to that place where now we're going to move into that?
Mm.
How do you introduce?
So we do an induction and deepener. Okay, so I want you to just in your mind, say if it's an image they're saying, just bring that image to your mind, just for a moment. But you can do it, you can introduce it gradually so it doesn't sort of upset somebody. You could say, I want you to introduce that image into your mind, but without any sound. Turn the sound off on it. So already you've turned it down the notch. It's not quite so loud and the feeling might not be quite as strong with it. You've got to tread carefully. Any other questions about the sort of the regression sort of stuff that we did yesterday? I mean, the other reason, you know, say although, you know, I can probably count on one hand the number of times I've used regression with a client. But we have to be aware of it in case you do get people who spontaneously do choose to go back to that time when you're in the middle of a session with them, so that you're aware of how to deal with it. But it's very rare that it happens. You need to know about it, but it's so rare that it happens. So moving on to today then, 3 things that we need to sort of cover. One is self-hypnosis. We're going to talk about anchoring, creating triggers in people, and a bit more on this submodalities type of work that you can use for all. Submodalities is great. I use it all the time. You know, you can use it for pain control, for feelings, for anger management, for because you're shrinking down feelings. So self-hypnosis then. If you've got a client who is, say, suffering with stress, anxiety, it's sometimes useful to teach them self-hypnosis so that they can put themselves into this relaxed place without you being there. And they can do it anytime, you know, day or night for just a couple of minutes at a time. Or they could even use it to help them go to sleep. You know, because if you think about it, somebody who can't get to sleep because of the chatterbox in their head, because with people who can't get to sleep, it tends to fall into 2 categories. They either have a chatterbox in their head that doesn't turn off, or the chatterbox starts as soon as they get into the bed on the night time and they can't turn their head off. Or, you know, somebody goes to sleep and then wakes up. So we're talking about people here where they can't turn the chatterbox off in the head. So if you teach somebody that person's self-hypnosis, bearing in mind that we actually do go into hypnosis before we go to sleep every night. That is the natural sleep cycle to do that. So if you can almost induce that state in somebody, the next step for them is that they're going to go to sleep. So they can use that self-hypnosis to go to sleep as well. So the other thing, it's you know, would relieve some of that stress that I talked about yesterday that builds up in people. So it gets rid of some of the little stresses, so people feel better in general. And if somebody's got say if they're a sports person and they've got a big match coming up that weekend. So they can, in self-hypnosis, be mentally rehearsing how they want that match to go, seeing themselves playing at their personal best, everything going just how they want it to go. Remembering the subconscious doesn't know what's real and what's pretend. You could use it for somebody who had a fear of flying. You could teach them self-hypnosis, and you could be getting them to mentally rehearse that flight, but it all going how they want it to go in a very calm and relaxed way.
That's limitless.
Yes, I was thinking that.
Yes.
Good Lord, I mean, to the realtor, you know, making the sale and the closing, to
Everything.
business meetings, to your surgery going well.
Yeah, all of it.
To your life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's thinking back,
yeah.
coast.
Yeah, so its uses are endless.
I get that visualization is key, but didn't we talk earlier about you can't really influence the future or?
You know, you can influence how you can influence the future in that you're setting yourself up or the client up to perform at their very best when it matters most. Because the subconscious doesn't understand what's real and what's pretend, it will think it's already done it a million times because you've done it in your head so many times. Just like somebody who reinforces a fear in the head all the time because they play that mind movie of the worst case scenario all the time. So we're doing that in reverse in self-hypnosis. You know, so the more times you go through it in your head, everything going how you want it to go, when it actually comes to doing it, the subconscious thinks, oh yeah, I've done this before. Yeah, it was easy. Yeah, I can do that. I use it a lot with like sports teams, you know, like pre-competition routines. That I'll tell you about a little sports team that I was working with. And they ended up in the international newspapers, the Times of India, the front page of the Times of India did my little football team. They were, I did a couple of, and this was from doing a couple of free sessions. So I'd had this, the guy who was the chairman of this football club had come for weight control and he'd done really well. He'd sent the coach's wife. She'd then come for weight control. So one evening, I'm just finishing off this session with the coach's wife and she told me about this little kids football team that they were involved in that really wanted to move up the league. But they had a couple of, and they were a good little team, but they had a couple of games coming up where they were playing against big lads. And the last time they played these games, they'd been absolutely annihilated, you know, because they were bigger lads than them. So, so they already thought that they were going to lose before they even got there. They were already set up for failure in their own mind. And you know, believe you can, believe you can't. You're probably right. So I said, look, well, why don't I just come and do a couple of sessions with them? I said, it won't cost you anything. I said, I'll just see if I can help them at all. So I went along the first night, and they said they were 13, just 13 and under, this team. So that type of age group, if you say it's black, they will say it's white. They're just at that age, aren't they? They know everything and you know nothing. So, but what did fascinate them was this hypnosis stuff, what's all that about, because they'd seen stage hypnotists. So to get them on, one of the things I did to get them on board with me is I said, do you all want to know how to hypnotise somebody? Yeah. Yeah. I said, right, okay. I said, oh. Just saying.
The Americanization
Mission successful.
Okay, what's the next phrase?
The eyebrows. You got a
So-
figure, right? Yeah,
Yeah. So what I did with these teenagers, as I said, okay, I want you all to sit on the floor, and I want you to imagine that you've got somebody sitting next to you that you're going to hypnotise. So I want you to tell this person to close their eyes. I want you to tell this person to know to tell their feet feel. I want you to tell this person to know to tell their hands feel. And all of a sudden what I'm doing is hypnotising them.
Yeah.
But they think they're hypnotising somebody else. So, and there was a number of things that I did with them. But one of the things was before they went out to play a match, they all sat in the changing rooms. And I got the coach on board, you know, they stared at a spot on the wall, they closed their eyes, and for 2 minutes they sat thinking about that game and seeing themselves playing at the personal best all the time. I'd also did something called, and I've forgotten, my mind's gone blank, we're just saying. What do you call it when you write yourself notes that you continuously look at? Affirmations, that was it, yeah. My mind went blank for a minute. So I did some affirmation stuff with them as well. So I went round the team, this was out of hypnosis, and I said, can you tell me what this person here next to you brings to the team? Something positive this person brings to the team. Well, he does great goals. Okay, so what does he bring to the team? Oh, he does great passes. So I built up all the positive things that they have as a team, and we wrote them as affirmations. And then one of the lads, before the match, we'd done this 2 minute staring at a spot, we'd gone through how we wanted the game to go, and then I got them to start shouting affirmations. So one lad said, you know, we give great goals. So the rest of them were like, we give great goals, you know. And what was happening as well is I allowed this to happen while the others are getting the changing rooms next door. So what we're really doing as well, or I'm building them up, I'm negging that other team out as well.
Psyching them out.
Yeah. You know, there's a New Zealand rugby team who do that deep dance, you know, before they, and that's designed to neg the other side out. You know, it works both ways really, doesn't it? You know, you're putting the element of doubt in the other team's mind. Oh, maybe they are quite good. So we did some affirmation work, but a lot of it was this almost like self-hypnosis, this mental preparation, performing at the personal best. I also taught them about distractions, you know, to be aware of what they're thinking of in the head at any one time. So, you know, I said, when you're out on the field playing, I said, how many times are you thinking, oh, don't mind him for my tea? I wonder what he's doing. Oh, what's he doing over there? I said, that split second, you're distracted from playing that game and you're giving your other side an advantage immediately because you're distracted onto something else. So I got them to create in their mind a winning image, their own winning image, seeing themselves playing at their personal best. Anytime they thought if they were aware that they were distracted, they're going to be very aware of that, refocus back on that winning image. So they're always playing to they don't play to win, they play to be the personal best, because if you play to win and you lose, then your confidence is going to... So we're going to get somebody to play to win all the time. I then went to watch them. They were playing this match on a Sunday. It was like walking across from the hotel a couple of mornings ago where the wind like took you. Sunday morning, it was absolutely blowing a gale and siling down with rain, and I'm thinking, oh no. They were playing this team of big lads who come out like all, you know. But we did our chanting on the pitch. So my team scored the first goal. In fact, they scored the first 2 goals, and you could see the other side thinking, what the hell is going on here? Because of course they, in their minds, last time they played that game, they annihilated them. What's going on here? We're bigger lads than they are. And you could see their confidence start to go down. You know, a lot of it, you know, with sports, you know, they understand that there's the psychological element of things because, you know, we train on our fitness, we train on our nutrition. You know, the only thing then that can change from one game to the next is what goes on up here. You know, if you look at like Tiger Woods, what's happened with him? you know, what happened with his golf. You know, he was like top of his field. You know, his marriage was a bit of a all over the papers, and all of a sudden his game's gone because what's changed up here is his head. So if you can get somebody to almost play, to be psychologically play into their personal best all the time, the law of averages says that they'll, you know, the chances are that they'll win. So they didn't win the next game. This team, they did, but they only lost by 1 point. The last time they played them, the score was 11-1. This time there was only one point difference. The other thing I did with them, as I said, every time you play a match, I want you to come away with talk about 3 positive things that have happened during that game. So we're not coming away thinking about losing, we're coming away thinking about the 3 positive things that have happened. And all these things you can use almost with like depression, people with depression and stuff as well. You know, before you go to bed all night, I want you to write down 3 positive things that have happened during the day. It might be something simple, it might be just like your granddaughter smiled or whatever it was. 3 positive things that have happened during the day, and I want you to write down 3 positive things that you're going to do tomorrow. All of a sudden you're changing somebody from on the negative onto the positive, really. So anyway, this little team, they did move up the league, and one of the biggest selling British newspapers used it as a leading story to the Euro football competitions. My little football team. And because the international newspapers sometimes feed out the British newspapers, the Times of India had it on the front page. So I'd, you know, go on Facebook, lads, you're international now. So, and you know, when I get on to talk about marketing over the weekend, you know, I think sports teams is a massive untapped market. You know, if you think about, you know, your children when they were younger and they get into some sort of sports or something, you pay a fortune for it, don't you? And if you think there's something that's going to make your child shine a bit better, you're going to pay for it. So, but also, like, I'll go and give like free talks to sports teams about and give them free psychological skills training. I don't call it hypnosis. I'll say I'll come and give you 1 hour of free psychological skills training so that you can perform at your personal best when it matters most. Every time I come away from a free talk, you get more work from it because more people know about you just for going and giving an hour of your time. And if you think of all the sports teams you could work your way around, you know, not that I particularly want work for sports because I don't, but somebody will always say, oh, do you do, can you help with weight? Can you help with this? Can you help with pain? Can you do, you know, and all of a sudden you just generated yourself some more clients for going and giving an hour of your time. And that's far better than sticking a paid advert out that doesn't bring you anything. Because with this, people buy into you as an individual. So it's you that they want to see. You know, it's you that they like, it's you that they trust. It's you that they've seen get results, so they'll see you for the other stuff as well. Plus it's fun, you know, it's good fun doing that little bit of stuff like that as well. You know. So, but yeah, I used to love this chanting we used to do. Just get us to do it as loud as they possibly could, you know. Are you all listening to this next door? Because, you know, it's... They do, on the big games, I mean, I don't know about over here, I'm sure they must do it over here as well, but the big football games in the UK, you know, as the players come out through that tunnel, the teams for the other side, they employ the likes of you and me to neg the other team out as they come through that tunnel. And I talked yesterday about metaphors, you know, and like storytelling techniques that run parallel to somebody's life. So they'll employ somebody like, say, you or I, who would go and dig the dirt on those players. You know, what's going on in their personal life, who they've had an affair with, who, you know, what's going to really get into their headspace and get their head onto something else so they're distracted from the game. The clever people would then come up with a metaphoric way of hurling that information at them as they're coming through that tunnel. So subconsciously it's being picked up on and you're starting to neg them out. And it goes on all the time. So,
Yeah.
so just as you can, help somebody think in a positive way, you can also make somebody the other way as well. Just with the words that you're using, the way that you're putting it, at the right time. So, but say self-hypnosis is a great tool. You can use it in, almost anything, really. And it's a really easy one to do. You've got to stress it to the client, though, that, if you're teaching them something like self-hypnosis, that if they don't do it, it won't make any difference. And so I always stress to a client that, I'm here to give you the tools to help yourself, but sometimes you can take the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So if they don't use the tools that you're giving them, they're not going to be any better. There ain't no magic wands here. Really, we're giving the client the tools to fix themselves. If they use them, it'll work. If they don't, forget it. So, and some clients, they really want you to do all the work, so they just want a recording they're going to listen to and that they don't have to do anything. But if they're serious about, getting fixed or giving that best presentation or being able to get over the nerves of a job interview, then if they use the techniques, it will work. And it's really easy to do with somebody as well. And we're all going to install it in each other today, because it's got to be installed in somebody. And the way we do it is we're going to talk somebody into hypnosis at the point where at the deepest level, we're going to condition that client at that point to be able to take themselves back there. We're then going to wake the client back up again and test that they can do it, that they understand it before we send them away. So we're going to do something like get somebody to go into hypnosis for 2 minutes. We all have our own internal body clock that knows when 2 minutes has passed. Some of us, our clocks are running a little bit slow or a little bit fast, but most people are about, it's like when you go to bed on a night time and you think, those people who don't set their alarm and say, I want to wake up at 7 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock you wake up. It's the same principle here. So you could say, I'm going to go into hypnosis for 2 minutes, close your eyes, off you go. And something, after 2 minutes, will tell you to open your eyes. And we'll test it, how good our clocks are, if you like, when we go through it. How many people are running late or have 4 minutes in there, 2 minutes. So I'd just like a volunteer just to do a demo of it. Do you want to do it?
I'm not getting in the chair.
Sorry?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
This is the
You've been-
cluck like a chicken part of it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Let's go on that one, yeah. Just get some music on the go. Hmm? Yeah, it's all right on here. I'm just going to borrow your bit of paper a minute, though. Something to write on. You have got notes in your thing as well, in your manuals about self-hypnosis. So Dave, if you were to think of a really relaxing type of vacation, what type of vacation would you think about? Beach. What sort of beach? Florida.
Oh no, I go to Hawaii. If we're going, let's go.
Do you know, I've taken my daughter all over the world. She hasn't actually been anywhere, she's just been sat in a chair, but she thinks she has.
Way better on budgets.
She thinks she's been to Disney and all over, but she tells all her friends about it.
You want to teach me that in the next 10 days before I go?
Yeah.
Saves way more money.
Yeah, it's been really cheap. It's not as expensive as you think, isn't Disney? Okay. So then, how should we do this? Pardon?
You heard that?
What was that?
Something my family does whenever there's the moment and it's like, da, da, da.
Da-da.
Big dramatic crescendo.
Yeah. Okay. What I want you to do for me, Dave, is in a moment I'm going to get you to close your eyes, but I want you to tense up every single muscle in your body, like really, really tense like this, and I want you to hold that.
Live on Facebook, just
Yeah, yeah.
That's called the law of the first check.
Yeah. And I want you to hold those muscles really, 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 really tight for as long as you possibly can, until you can't hold them anymore, and then you can just allow all those muscles to relax. But so with your eyes closed, that's it. That's it. Tense them up really, really tight, really, really tight. It's like you're having a. It's like he's having a new, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm glad she said it, 'cause I wanted to.
We were all thinking it. Oh, that's
Having a bit-
face.
Having a bit of a strain.
Did you say food face?
Ooh, face.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Different, never mind.
It's something you can do with sometimes with clients who aren't very good at sort of relaxing and switching off. You can get them to do that. Okay, close your eyes. I want you to tense up every single muscle in your body and keep them tense. It's almost that law of reverse effort, if you like. You know, the harder you try to do it, the harder it becomes. At the point they release those muscles, that's when they're going to relax. So it's just another way you can do it if somebody, and then you can get them to start counting backwards maybe. Okay. So, okay, Dave. So, all I want you to do is just take a couple of really deep breaths for me. I want you to imagine breathing in relaxation. Breathing out any stresses, strains. Just breathing in relaxation. That's it. Some people imagine that relaxation as a colour, a place. Some people it's a sounds or a feeling. As you're sitting there, you can notice any sounds in the room or outside of the room. There's people talking out there. You can notice how your hands feel there. Just there on your lap. You can notice how the material of your clothes feels beneath your hands. Notice your feet, how they feel. Notice any tiny sensations, maybe in your feet, toes. And all the while just being aware of your surroundings, the sounds, noises that you can hear. So you're doing really well. I'm going to start counting now from 1 to 10, and each number that counts, you can find yourself drifting, relaxing more and more, Just with every number that counts. So number 1, just allowing yourself to drift. Just to that first level. You can allow any thoughts to come into your mind. Just let them disappear again. And 2, just drifting deeper and deeper. Nobody wants anything from you now. Nobody needs anything. Time that's just for you. And 3, feeling heavy, tired, glad to just drift more and more, more and more. And 4, noticing the muscles in your neck, shoulders, and imagining those muscles unwinding, unfolding, relaxing. And 5, noticing every breath that you take now, every inward breath, every outward breath, every breath that you take just relaxes you even more. Just with every breath that you take. And 6, finding that most comfortable place deep inside, that most comfortable place deep inside. And 7, just drifting down and down and down, deeper and deeper. The sound of the wind just carries you deeper and deeper, just drifting. And 8, just allowing any thoughts to come and disappear, disappear. 9, feeling calm, comfortable, peaceful. I'd like you to use that power of your mind, Dave. Power of your imagination. To imagine or picture, make believe that you're on a beach, gorgeous place. Might be somewhere that you've been to before. or just somewhere that you want to imagine. You can maybe see the sea, the ocean, the colours in the sea, the waves against the shore. Maybe hear the sound of the waves against the shore. You can really get a feeling of this place. The feeling of nature, Mother Earth, universe. You can allow those feelings to help you drift even deeper into this wonderful place. This wonderful place of relaxation. You can allow those feelings, that grounding of Mother Earth, to almost be like a blanket of comfort. This blanket of comfort wraps round right from your head, right down to the tips of your toes. A wonderful blanket of comfort. And I'd like you to imagine Dave writing the word peace across the forefront of your mind. That word peace. And how that word peace really feels to you. Allowing that word peace in every muscle, every fibre of your mind, body, soul. Peace. And I wonder how good it'd be to know, Dave, that you can take yourself into this wonderful, relaxed place any time that you choose. In this relaxed place, you can be mentally rehearse things that you want to achieve in your life. Goals, maybe, that you set yourself. Or you can simply take the time for you, for Dave, to switch off from daily living for a while. And you can put yourself into this relaxed place at any time, simply by closing your eyes and counting from 1 to 10. Matching each number with your breathing. And with each outward breath, saying to yourself the words, relax. So any time in the future, you can put yourself into this wonderful relaxed place simply by closing your eyes and counting from 1 to 10. Matching each number with your breathing. With each outward breath, saying to yourself the words, relax. 1. Relax. 2. Relax. can use this as a wonderful tool to switch off, to focus on the goals you want to achieve. But any time you maybe feel a little bit low, maybe, the harder you try to do this, the harder it'll become. You can use this wonderful tool to achieve maybe all sorts in your life, to really perform your best. And you know that wonderful beach day, the sea, the ocean, the colours in the sea, the waves. I'd like you to imagine standing, looking out to that sea, looking out to the ocean. I'd like you to imagine writing down on a piece of paper any things that you'd like to bring into your life in the future. Goals, maybe. People, I don't know, but you do. I'd like you to imagine writing a letter to the universe. Write a letter to the universe. Just at your feet on this beach, there's a bottle. You can put that message in that bottle. And set the bottle out to sea, out to the ocean, out to the universe. So I'm going to wake you up now, Dave. I'm going to count from 5 to 1, and when I get to 1, you'll be able to open your eyes. Anytime you choose, you can put yourself into this relaxed place. Take any healing that you need from it. Plan your goals. Just chill. So 5, just slowly waking. 4, just waking a little bit more. 3, feeling some energy now, starting to work its way through your body. 2, feeling really, really good inside. And 1, you can open your eyes. Mm-hmm. So, what we tend to do then is get the client to sort of test that out. Before they leave our office, we want to make sure that they understood that and that they can do it. So, all I want you to do for me, Dave, is when you're ready to go into hypnosis, you know, I just want you to say, just in your mind, okay, I want to go into hypnosis for 2 minutes. And when you're ready, close your eyes, start the counting process. Sorry? No, just in your head. Yeah, sorry, yeah, just in your head. So it's that 1, relax, 2, relax, 3, relax. And we'll see how, and we'll just see how good your body clock is. Something in 2 minutes will tell you to open your eyes. Okay? Go for it.
You got this.
Mm-hmm.
20 seconds.
Over.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to bear in mind it takes them so long to get there. It's probably taken the 20 seconds to get there and then done the 2, maybe.
Oh, let me get to it for
Yeah, yes, so maybe it's taken 20 seconds to get to the 10 and then...
2 minutes and 20 seconds for the whole thing.
Did you find that you went all the way back down again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
It was, yeah.
Mm.
It was almost instant.
Yeah.
I probably got to 2 and I was like, what am I doing? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the more you know, if you like when you all install it in each other, it's a real like gift, if you like. And, you know, go away and do it, you know, at least once a day. Because if you don't, you lose the ability to do it. But what you find is the more that you do it, the quicker you go into it. So, you know, you could start to count to 2 and you're right down there already, you know. But there's so many multiple benefits from it, even down to the fact that none of us ever switch off, you know, just that switch off time. And you can do it for a couple of minutes, you can do it anywhere. So, you know, don't lose the ability to do it, you know, keep doing it to yourself and getting the benefits for yourself as well.
Dave, does it feel like you got an extra hour of sleep just then?
I feel more refreshed than I did when I came in this morning.
Yeah, I mean, Margaret Thatcher, one of the British Prime Ministers, she survived on 4 hours sleep a night. And she was doing that because she was using self-hypnosis during the day. You know, it's like having a power nap. So, I say,
Is 2 minutes long enough?
yeah, 2 minutes is fine. Mm.
Do you want me to come back though?
No, that's it, you want to stay there. I think, no, I'll be in this world, thanks. So, an induction deepener-wise, I forget what I've actually done. What did I say? We counted from... So with this, you're maybe going to use a few deepeners, you know, to get somebody fairly deep down into it, you know. So, we did the counting, didn't we?
Right, from 1 to 10.
We did 1 to 10.
Not down.
Oh yeah, up. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I get confused by what's up and what's down. So we counted from 1 to 10. We were on the beach. Oh, and I used, if you like, it's all about buying into the client's world and their type of language. And so that's what I was doing with Dave. I was talking about, Mother Earth, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. This blanket of comfort, and and I use Mother Earth wrapping this blanket of comfort. Did you find that fairly effective?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's funny because I remembered when I said those words, around you, and I'm like, look at her. She was like recording the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what you start doing, listening to words that people use, clocking the words that they use, and think, right, okay, so I've got that, I'll start throwing that back at you.
When you did again the words, you invited him to write the words across his mind.
Yes.
Said, and then you the words.
Yeah, yeah.
And then all the muscles. Remember that? Because I was like going all over and writing.
Oh yeah.
I remember the neck and shoulders.
Yeah, no, I think
Same muscles.
okay, I think I said something like, I want you to imagine writing the word peace across the forefront of your mind. That's it in every,
Every fiber, every muscle kind of thing.
Yeah.
Something.
yeah, and allowing that peace into every fibre, muscle, cell. Something like that.
Maybe I just took that and started to keep it.
So, sort of I talked Dave into it fairly deeply, and at the point when I thought he was at the sort of deepest point, then I'm going to install self-hypnosis. So all I said is at any point in the future, you can put yourself into this relaxed place simply by closing your eyes and counting from 1 to 10, with each outward breath saying to yourself the word relax. I repeated it because it's all about repetition, so making sure the client understands. Then I also did a little bit of counting with Dave's breath. As Dave was breathing, I was sort of 1, relax, 2, relax. So they understand the pacing, if you like, of it. I said, you can use this tool to mentally rehearse goals, to things that you want to achieve in your life. But we're also put a safety net in there as well, because we don't want somebody using self-hypnosis if they're feeling down. Because remember, hypnosis heightens the senses. So I just put a phrase in that said, but anytime you feel a bit low, the more you try to do this, the harder it'll become.
That's what that was.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
I'm like, okay.
yeah, yeah. So, but when it's a post-hypnotic suggestion as well, that if somebody attempted to do that at the point they felt low, they wouldn't be able to.
I heard you, but I didn't get it. It
No.
was
Yeah.
so quick.
Yeah.
It was one of those embedded.
Yes, exactly, embedded command, yeah.
Okay.
Because I can get it. And
Yeah.
I spent a second like, what's going to be too hard? I don't
Yeah.
But I want to do this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's just a one-liner to prevent it, somebody using it at a point that they feel low. So we put like a safety feature in, if you like.
Why?
Because if somebody uses hypnosis and they're depressed, then it heightens the senses and it could enhance the depression as opposed to helping it.
Okay.
So we only want them to use it at the point where they feel all right and they're looking at what they want to achieve.
Okay. So what you said was something.
I said, any point though you're feeling low,
Okay.
the harder you try to do this, the harder it'll become. You're losing that law of reversed effort.
and that's maybe.
And then I just stuck something on the end, which wasn't anything to do with like self-hypnosis really. It was just, okay, so I want you to imagine writing a letter. Did you like that?
I really want that on film. Like
Yeah.
what was happening in my head.
Right, yeah.
That was amazing. Because when I did that, when I had to go back, that's
Mm.
exactly what I started doing again.
Okay,
Oh, I got more letters.
right, yeah.
The word, the words.
No, the letters. The letter that we were writing to the universe. I sent them off.
Yeah, yeah. So we're doing a letter in the bottle.
Sheila, when you're doing that and you tell them how to get into it, the kind of 1 to 10, and you're, is it, I didn't catch this part, I don't know if you said it or not, but like when they're coming back out, do they just gently come back out, or do they count back like to 1 from 10?
When they're using it themselves, you mean? Yeah, no, something will go off in the head like a little alarm clock that says, okay, it's time to open my eyes now.
Okay.
Because almost you instruct, you know, our brains obey every single instruction we give them. Every single instruction. So say, for example, somebody who can't sleep. You know, they're saying, I don't sleep very well. No, I can't sleep. No, I won't sleep tonight. Absolutely right, you won't, because you're instructing your brain not to. So we can also instruct our brain that, okay, I'm going to go into hypnosis for 2 minutes. I want to go into hypnosis for 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes, something will say, bingo, open your eyes. So yeah, there doesn't need to be a count out of it.
So can you, do that when you're going to sleep, you just say, I'm not, just.
Yeah, so you can, well, if you're going to use it for sleeping then, okay, so I'm going to go into hypnosis and I want to go to sleep and wake up at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And go through the same process. Okay.
When I was coming back out, when I was supposed to do the 2-minute thing, I could literally hear that clock. I heard it tick. And
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
like,
hearing it too.
oh, must be time.
Right.
That's how I didn't hear it until then,
Yeah.
until that moment.
Yeah.
And then I went,
Wow.
Yeah.
must be time, because I
Yeah.
didn't hear the clock.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Body's
Mm.
alerting you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, because I couldn't hear it until then.
Mm.
Normally I can, but
Any other questions at all?
What's a gentle way to do the awakening? Would it be like, now when you're ready, I'd like to bring you back to this time and place?
Yeah, yeah. If you've had somebody into hypnosis fairly deeply, you know that you should bring them out slowly, really, like a gradual bring out of it, as opposed to waking them up really fast. Because otherwise, you can almost get that feeling like, you know, when like a bit groggy and a bit disorientated, you know. So if you've had somebody into it fairly deep, I mean, you don't have to count from 5 to 1. You can count from 10 to 1. You know, but just do it slowly and gradually. Yes.
But you wouldn't need to like ask them to nod or.
No.
Okay.
No. Any other questions? Did you like that, did you? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, what you can do with this one is breaking up into pairs. Just go into 2s and install it in each other. So you want an induction, a deepener. Again, think about buying into how the client sees the world. You know, what type of things do they find relaxing? You know, see if you can do ad-libbing as best as you can using that visual auditory kinesthetic. You know, hear the sounds that you can hear, bringing those in. Do a couple of deepeners, get them into it sort of fairly relaxed.
Muscles tense.
That's so you can do that. You can do muscles tensing. And then install the self-hypnosis. In your manuals, I believe, page 10 of today's course notes. And then you can get the person to test it afterwards, like I did with Dave, to make sure they can do it. Oh yes, but we'll take a 10-minute break first.
When? Now.
Take a 10-minute break now. Yeah, and then yeah. And then, I think I'm teaching you too well.
Do you have a shadow program we can follow you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Any questions about the sort of self-hypnosis side of things? How are all your body clocks? Are they on time? Yeah. And all I would say to you is use it. Use it a couple of times a day. Get the benefits of it. Because the more you use it, like with anything, the better we become at doing it. You go into it faster. And if you don't practice, if you don't use it, you will lose the ability to do it.
Both Cindy and I found that our minds were sort of focusing on 2 minutes.
Okay.
Does that naturally go away?
It will
as you
naturally
get
go
used to
away.
it, or
Yeah,
do
it will
you-
naturally. And because you're in this environment, so you're thinking, oh, I've got to open my eyes in 2 minutes because there's things to do. Whereas you'll just get used to doing it.
Okay.
That will go. Yeah, that's your conscious mind panicking, isn't it? Thinking, no. Yeah, 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 yeah.
What's that?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. The little chatterbox. The little chatterbox. Just want to do a couple of exercises before we break for lunch. And the first one, it's something called eye or muscle catalepsy. And it's a way of almost turning the muscles off in somebody. So all I want you to do is just sit yourself back. Put your hands on your knees. And then when you're ready, I'd just like you just to close your eyes for me, that's all. Take a couple of deep breaths. I'd like you to imagine that each of those breaths is coming from a point that's just behind your tummy button. Let all that breathing come from that point that's just behind your tummy button. And I'd like you to focus for a moment.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Belly button. Yeah. What's she talking about? She's talking in some foreign language again. So yeah, just imagine each of those breaths is coming from a point just behind your belly button. Oh. So a couple of deep breaths and imagine that each of those breaths is coming from just behind your belly button. Almost like somebody's, I suppose, stroking the inside of your belly button. Okay. Then I'd like you to focus for a moment on the muscles around your eyes. I'd like you to focus on those tiny, tiny muscles around your eyes, just thinking about those muscles. And I'd like you to find your way of turning all those muscles off. Turn all the muscles off around your eyes so they really won't work. Just finding a way to turn them off one by one. All those tiny muscles, just switching them off. You could imagine switching them off on a switch on the wall, or I don't know, but find your way of turning all those muscles off so they really won't work. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and when I get to 2, I want you to try to open your eyes, but the harder you try, the harder it'll become. And when I get to 3, you can simply stop testing, stop trying, and relax 100 times deeper than you are now. And just be sure in your own minds that all those muscles are comfortably, naturally, safely switched off. So I'll count from 1 to 3. When I get to 2, I want you to try to open your eyes. When I get to 3, you can stop testing and relax 100 times deeper than you are now. So you go 1, 2, just testing those muscles. And 3, relaxing 100 times deeper. Wonderful feeling. And how amazing that you have it within your own ability to control all the muscles in your body. just by the thoughts in your mind. And you can just be aware of being in this room, the temperature in the room, the sounds around you. When you're ready, just in your own time, you can open your eyes and come back to the here and now. Eric's face. Oh, strange. My eyes open. Who turned the muscles off? Who managed to turn the muscles off in their eyes so they wouldn't? Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Because I wasn't in for, because I heard the
No.
door and stuff like that.
Yeah. You're not in hypnosis, are you?
And then I went back to like, okay, I gotta pay attention. And then I'm like, oh my god. Wait, what?
Oh, my eyes work. Yeah, my eyes, they don't work. My eyes don't work anymore.
Before they get on the table or after.
Mm.
Using the hypnosis book?
Mm.
Is there like, do you have any suggestions for somebody like me that has such a difficult time?
Stop it.
Sometimes when you have a difficult time with it, it's like, you know, working with a client, it's almost letting go of your own belief system of what hypnosis is and what it isn't. And it is just that state of relaxation. And you may be, sometimes people hold on to a belief that they're going to lose control and dropped into oblivion. And, you know, as we know now, there's nothing further from the truth. But you know, it's all a self-directed process, all of it. So nobody can, and sometimes we're always looking for a magic wand, all of us. And almost you know, well, make me if you can, you know, and nobody can make anybody do anything.
I don't, it's like, I don't feel like that, like I know
No.
this is very real.
Yeah.
And I believe that it happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't I do this?
Yeah. I suspect given some sort of almost like quiet time on your own, just to sort of, you know, practice the things.
You know, I have 5 kids and a mother-in-law, right?
Yeah. Even when you get into bed on the night time, those couple,
Full.
those 30 seconds of a day that you have to yourself.
No,
That's it when you're in the bathroom or something. Yeah.
Oh no! Underneath the door.
Yeah, that's it. We're coming.
The door. Yeah. Forget to lock it. He'll just come in and like, no, when mom's in the bathroom, we don't come in.
I don't even shut the door anymore.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
Mom, outside the door.
Yeah.
You have to go somewhere where they can't see where you went.
So just before we break for lunch, we thought it might be quite nice to do a quick meditation before we go for lunch. And then when we come back this afternoon, we're going to look at anchors and something called submodalities. Anchors and submodalities. Submodalities. Yes. Stupid people. You're all thinking, stupid English person. It was some people who said to me yesterday that when they read, I said, you Morgan, when you're reading the course material, you read it in English, an English voice in your head.
Yeah. I've been driving with an English voice in my head.
I said, I don't notice I don't notice anybody's accent in this room really, but it's only when I'm, say, on my own somewhere, like say if I was next door in that restaurant. The other night I came down and I would have put money on the fact that Eric was about 2 tables behind me, And I kept thinking, oh yeah, that's so. Oh no, it's not. Oh, that's so. You know, because if we're in an environment where it's not around me all the time, that's when I notice it. I think, oh yeah, that's there must be here. Or in the airport, you know, the same thing happened in the airport. We've gone to the airport to pick Lynn up. I just got a cup of coffee, so rather than go on the tram and have the coffee going all over, I just said, I'll wait here. And every time I heard a voice, it was like, oh, yeah, the back. No, they're not. The back, yeah.
It's funny though, in America, we put a lot of stock in somebody's accent or lack thereof. When I got my job in the South over the phone because of my northern accent.
Yeah.
And when I was down there, I was told, this is highly illegal, but, so this does not get repeated. But if someone had an accent, like a German accent or an English accent, hire them. Because they sell bras and panties like crazy.
Okay.
So if this doesn't work out, Sheila.
Yeah, because America
In the South, people trust you.
work you up.
So sweet.
Alright, so this
And
might
that
take
too.
some 60 minutes, so we need to get started.
It's how long?
16.
Oh, I thought you said 60. I'm like, oh no.
16.
16.
I knew that was right.
Something like that. So 20 plus 12, 20 plus 1. It's working on the day schedule. Okay, we all back. We all back. Anchors and triggers. Okay. So, first bit of this afternoon, let's talk about how we can give people a magic button. We conditioned our client, we anchored that state of self-hypnosis, that deep state of trance, so that somebody could put themselves into it at will. So we conditioned the client at the point they were at the deepest state of trance to be able to bring those feelings back again. So this means if we can do that for that, we can also install other triggers and anchors in people. So what if somebody needed a bit more confidence at certain times in their life? Or if they were giving a presentation and they wanted to feel more confident at the time that they give that presentation. We can give somebody an anchor for that, a trigger that they can fire off at the time that they need it most. So, and you might notice sometimes when people give presentations, if they stand up and talk in front of a group of people, some people like they twiddle something, don't they? They twiddle the wedding ring, or you know, they might play with a tie, or that's an anchor. It's a comfort thing for them, isn't it? So they've almost installed that in themselves without realising it. And we talked about, you know, if you listen to a certain piece of music on the radio, it can take you straight back to how you felt at that time when you know, when you split up with your boyfriend and that record was out all of the time. You know, you hear it again and it almost takes you straight back to there and the feelings that you had at that time. So we all have these installed in us from our life's experiences, but we can deliberately in hypnosis install one that's beneficial for them to use. So, is there anybody here who, you know, would like to feel more? I didn't finish. Would like to feel more. Just more. I want to feel more. Is it for confidence, you mean? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, would you like to be my crash test dummy, as Eric puts it? Yeah. Would you like to come down front? Oh, I need something to write on. Thank you.
Kinda scary, huh?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Very. Okay. It's called what?
Anchor placement.
Anchor placement.
Sure. We recommend.
So what we're going to do then is install a deliberate anchor in somebody, and I tend to do it with by pressing somebody's thumb and finger together, that they can bring back certain feelings. So which is what I'm going to do in the demo with you today. So at the time you need to feel, say, more confident, you can push your button and bring the feelings of confidence back at the time you need them most. So, and I'll show you the methodology of doing this. If you install something like this in somebody and they're doing something where they feel fairly confident and push the button, then nothing's going to happen because they already feel confident. So it's at the time when somebody needs it most. And you can do this for all sorts of things. I'll give you an example. In a sports person, a competitive sports person, say if you've got two people they're swimming a race, and you're getting towards the end of that race and you're getting a little bit tired, but really, and you may be going head to head with a competitor, and really you need that extra surge of energy at the time when you need it most, you could install like a power trigger in somebody. So when they push the button, they can get that extra surge of energy, that extra surge of power that just gets them past their opponent. So there's all sorts of triggers and things that you could install in somebody. But these ones sort of like confidence or feeling calm or more relaxed, they're the sort of the common ones that you do really. In your manuals it talks about collapsing anchors, and I'll move on to talk about collapsing anchors afterwards. To start with, we'll just go into installing the anchor in the first place. So just remind me of your name again.
Lou Ann.
Lou Ann. So when is it you notice most then that you don't feel confident?
In front of people.
In front of people?
I'm wondering why I'm.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. I seem to be doing all right. Yeah. And how does that make you feel when?
Very self-conscious.
Self-conscious,
Yeah.
okay. And would that does it bring a feeling on inside you?
A little bit of nerves.
Yeah, yeah. If you were to think about where that feeling is, where would you say it is? Is it in your body? Is it in your tummy? Is it in your chest?
Yeah, probably my.
In your tummy, yeah. And how would you describe those feelings?
Kind of shaky.
Shaky. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So how would life be different if you didn't have this?
I would be able to be in front of a group of people and perhaps speak. I tend to be very quiet naturally.
Yeah. Are there any particular groups of people that you would think, yeah, if I didn't have this, I would be able to talk in front of that group of people?
Not really, because any group,
Any group, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
even with friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Small groups, I'm fine.
Okay. Luann, can you think of a time in your life when you felt most relaxed? Might have been a vacation, and I'm not talking, it doesn't have to be in the last few weeks, it can be years ago. A time in your life when you felt really relaxed.
When I'm on the beach.
On the beach. Okay. Can you be a bit more specific for me? Can you think of a particular vacation or a particular beach, or a particular time in your life when you can think, yeah, I can recall that and it was...
You mean just a particular time?
Yeah,
when I was
a
there?
specific time.
But I was very calm.
Yeah, when you were very relaxed.
Being on the beach, we always go to a friend's cottage in Michigan. And on her beach, it's a private beach, and it's just beautiful, and that's a place I usually go to,
Okay,
physically and mentally.
okay. How often do you go there then?
Several times a year.
Okay. Okay. A time in your life when you've done something where you have felt confident. It might have been, some people say they've passed their driving test the first time and they felt confident at that time. It doesn't have to be anything recent, it can be something from years ago.
I'm very good at cleaning. I'm very good at my job.
Okay.
So either you need help cleaning, I'm your guy.
Can you come on with me? Because I think there might be a fair bit to do when I land back at my house with my daughter having been in charge for all this time. Okay. What job do you do then?
I actually run the print shop at Benedictine University.
Okay.
So, and I'm very good at what I do. So there I'm very confident.
Okay, run what shop?
Print.
Print,
shop.
oh, print shop.
Yeah.
I thought you said print shop.
I run a
Okay.
very print shop.
Yeah. And that's at the university.
Mhm.
And you feel good about that, you in control, you know, if it, you know.
I know what needs to be done.
Yeah, yeah. Can you think of any other time in your life when you felt confident?
I'm good at taking care of people. I've taken care of my mother and my child when he was sick.
Mm.
And I'd say there's a part of me that just takes over and knows what needs to be done.
Okay, okay,
And animals too.
yeah. Okay, that's fine. Excellent. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and sort of, if you like, to use my very professional term, I'm just going to go for it with Luann. And then afterwards, I will dissect all of this. So why I've asked the questions and what we're doing at what point. Okay. And I'm actually going to decided now that I'm going to throw both techniques in at the same time. So I'm going to do some submodality work and I'm going to install an anchor as well. So that at the time when Luann needs it most, she can access her confidence trigger. And she can bring back all the feelings of the time when she felt most relaxed, the times when she's been really confident in what she's doing. So really all I've done up till now is got from Luann, how would life be different if you didn't have this? You know, how do these feelings manifest themselves? Whereabouts in the body are they living? And got her to recall times when she has felt relaxed and times when she has felt confident. Because during this hypnosis session, I'm going to get her to recall these times as though she's there again. And at the time she's there in her head, that she's got those confidence feelings, that they're there again, then we install them, we push the button. Okay, and I'm going to bring back these one at a time and almost build a little pile of confidence and calmed and relaxed. Stack them one on top of the other. Okay, so have you got any, obviously you don't like talking in groups, but have you got any fears or phobias or anything like that?
No, I really don't.
No, you're all right. Okay, yeah, okay. That's and I just check that just so I tend to ask a client that because I never want to introduce anything into a session where somebody's got a screaming fear or phobia for it. You know, so I think I said before, if I was to talk about a feather twirling and whirling around and the person's terrified of birds or something, you know, then you think, where's the bird?
I didn't hear the question you just asked.
I just said, has she got any fears or phobias? Is she frightened of anything? Because you don't ever want to introduce anything into a session that a client's got some sort of fear for. Even if you were using it as a deepening technique about something. You know, so I think I heard somebody, as I was walking around the room earlier on, somebody was talking about being in a lift and going down in a lift, which can be a good deepening technique. You just need to check to start before you did that the client's not got a problem with lifts. Elevator, yeah, sorry, yes. Yeah. So, okay then. Oh, I see my music. Let's grab my music. It's okay, I'm all right, I'm sorted. A nice new shiny laptop, shiny iPad. I look like I've got a new iPad just because it's had a clean. I didn't realise how bad it actually was. I feel like I've got a new device. Okay, let's just get some music on the go.
Okay, so if you look right here, right, okay. First off, say your name and spell it for me.
Kim Kessenich, Kessenich.
And where are you from, Kim?
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Why the Lifestyle Engineer program?
That's kind of a long story.
What's the 30,000-foot flyover version?
Well, okay. Basically, I felt called. Just, I mean, lots of signs, and yeah, it led me here. And initially, I wasn't interested, and actually talking with Dave ended up kind of getting me a little bit more. It was just the talking about speaking to people at a deeper level and communicating at a deeper level. That kind of clicked, and I'm like, wait a second, this is different. Something's changing, and yeah, and everything just fell together, and I'm here.
Tell me what you think so far.
Do you have any Kleenex? It's really amazing. It's really just been a transformation. It's so much in such a short time, so it's like it all just sort of compiles onto itself. But yeah, just the people and just the group, just the chemistry, the energy is so good. It's helped me a lot get through some things to move on through the course, and it's just beyond words.
Is this your first exposure to hypnosis?
No, actually, I did part of a stage hypnotist thing in high school, and I was just like, they can't do anything, and I ended up getting off the stage pretty quickly anyway. And then I ended up having some habits that I wanted to get adjusted, fixed, and was looking into just hypnosis. And the woman that I saw for it ended up giving me a recording of what she did for me. I went and saw her twice and listened to these recordings, and was just like, okay. Had a little bit of benefit to it, but again, she was commenting on the problem, and this is so different by just focusing on the solution and not the problem. And that has completely changed the way I think about everything now, even just the way they act, how I act, and what some of my behaviors have been, because this is sort of a self-treatment. That's what I was going to start with. I'm like, I need to fix myself before I go and try to help others, because that's always been my passion, helping others, but I was leaving myself behind. And that kind of caught up with me about 6.5 years ago. So yeah, now I know I just really need to be taking care of myself, and through this process, I'm excited that I'm gonna have to be doing self-hypnosis and working on it myself with this technique before I'm working on others, because I'm gonna have experienced it already. I'm gonna know more than an average person that isn't gonna be learning for themselves.
Impressions of Sheila Granger.
She's such a peach. She's so sweet, so compassionate. Oh my gosh, and hilarious. That's a huge part of why this was amazing. And it's just so wonderful that everything was so aligned. I mean, everything is just all came together, and it continues to do that. And just how she's, her participation at Drum Circle too, that was really very, what's the word? I can't think of the word. It's kind of out of the box. It was overwhelmingly wonderful. Yeah, I think just the whole humor, it's a blessing for me because I live off of humor, and this would be a very boring class without that piece in it.
Kim, if somebody's waffling on the fence, if they're, I don't know if I want to go to this class, what would you say to that person?
Look into your heart, be open to what your body tells you, what your spirit tells you, because that's, I think, what got everyone here today. People that said they were gonna come ended up not going. It's like everyone who's supposed to be here is supposed to be here. So it's so already orchestrated and set up. And it's like, if you're not planning on coming, then maybe that's how it's meant to be. If you keep thinking about it and thinking about it more and asking more questions, if things start to resonate and really feel good, and it's like, it will make the decision for you.
Is there one thing that you will take away from this?
Oh.
Is it, if you could only pick one, what's the golden nugget?
I think the biggest thing is just that everything has been changing so much in the world. The dynamics, the interaction between people and different cultures. And I seriously feel like this is a next step in evolution. Speaking to people at a different level, changing people's communication, like that's amazing. It's just, I think it's gonna change the world. That sounds really cheesy, but that's from what I've experienced in that room. Just learning what's changed me and my sister and my mom and the other women and men that are in there. It's just the stories we share. It's like things are changing so rapidly, and if we could go around and go to other places that need help, and it's like it will just get through and things will spread. It's like, and there's no worries. It's like, it's not like a competition or something we need to promote to get out there. Actually, I have a feeling, I have a sense it's gonna come to you if you need it. It's gonna show up where it's needed. It's gonna be way more than anybody expects it to be. But
Anything else you can think of that you'd like to add?
I just love Sheila. I love her. She's such a darling. Let's see, probably, I guess the biggest, one of, I keep saying the biggest thing, and then the biggest thing. For me, learning that behaviors are all created out of positive intent changes my perspective on a lot of things, and I know has changed a lot of others' perspectives, just on things that are happening in the world, other people, myself, habits, and things that behaviors, negative behaviors that have just, they all came from me trying to survive, and they aren't working for me now, and that's what the hypnosis can address. It's not going deep and like trudging in the ditches for going through traumas again. It's going into the deeper part of you and just talking about solutions, but it's actually addressing the solutions in that period of time that you're doing the session. So it's just such a direct access. It's amazing.
Awesome.
That's it. that all right?
Perfect. Look in the camera, like, first
okay.
question, say your name and spell it for me.
Okay, Lou Ann Meek, M-E-E-K. Lou Ann, L-O-U-A-N-N.
And where are you from, Luann?
I'm from Chicago.
Chicago, okay. What do you think about this course?
It's just been simply amazing. I am so just honored and thrilled and happy that I was able to take advantage of such a wonderful opportunity. Feeling really wonderful about now.
Thoughts on Sheila Granger?
I'm sorry?
Thoughts?
Thoughts about Sheila. She's a wonderful teacher. I'm just blown away by the fact that she came all this way and so easy to learn. Just a real person. You know, you're never sure what to expect. And I just felt such a connection with her. And we had fun.
If there's one nugget that you will walk away with, what's your best or favorite little nugget?
You know, there's so many. But basically, I feel more confident. I can do this. And this is something that I will use in many different aspects of my life, from dealing with people I work with, to children and animals and neighbors and exes, and it just feels amazing. I believe I understand people more.
If there was someone thinking about taking this course and was on the fence waffling, what would you tell them?
I would say it would be a shame if you didn't. I really, sounds so cliche, but it's life-changing. I just was presented with an opportunity and felt like it was meant to be. And people come into our lives for a reason. Opportunities come into our lives for a reason. If Sheila's been put into your path, I hope you take advantage. She's just so wonderful and amazing and fun. Has a unique way of looking at things.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I love you, Sheila. And stop it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity to say something to her. And hugs.
Okay, Eric, first question is hardest. Say your name, spell it for me.
Eric Webster, E-R-I-C-W-E-B-S-T-E-R.
And you're from Grand Rapids?
Grand Rapids.
Oh, is it Grand Rapids or Middleville?
Well, I'm from Middleville, actually, but nobody knows where that is.
Tell me about this class, the course, impressions, thoughts.
Incredible. Beyond my wildest imaginings, which were pretty wild. The way Sheila approaches everything is with such gentleness and humor. I came in with quite a bit of trepidation about, really, can I do this? And Monday, the first session when we did the inductions, and the person I was partnered with just was gone. It's like, oh, I really can do this. So she just brings you to success and then just takes you layer by layer by layer through it with great humor and what a personality. Just perfect approach, at least for the way I learned. So, yeah.
If there's one nugget that you kind of have grasped the last couple days that you'll kind of tuck in that shirt pocket, a favorite gem.
Wow, there've been a lot. I think for me the most powerful one might be what you most want is just outside your comfort zone. And if you stay in your comfort zone, obviously it remains out of reach. So I think that's a life changer.
If someone's sitting on the fence about taking the lifestyle engineer course,
have them call me. I'll push them off the fence with great gusto. Yeah,
No regrets.
not one. I mean, nothing controllable. You know, this wasn't available until now. So if there was a regret, it might be that it wasn't available before. But of course, it's available at exactly the right time for where I am and where I want to go.
Anything else that you would like to add?
Just a bunch of twats in the room, man. Knowing that you can edit that out.
Bloody spots.
Bloody twat. Oh, God. Oh.
Okay, Harvest question. Say your name and spell it for me.
My name is Zachary Watt, Zachary Last name Watt, Watt.
Okay. Tell me about the course. I mean, impressions, thoughts.
I am absolutely in love with everything I've learned here so far. It ties in with so much of what I've learned on my own in my life. You know, I studied psychology. I went to school several years for it. I study alternate healing modalities, and it just seems to tie in with everything that I want to get into a world where I can help people heal themselves without going to a doctor and getting a pill, or just assuming they need a surgery, or just accepting that, yes, they are depressed and there's nothing they can do about it but this pill.
If there's one nugget that, you know, is kind of one of those gems that you'll walk away with, do you have a favorite that you could share?
I think for me, the most profound thing that stuck with me, even though I've thought about it 100 times, just hearing someone else say it, was the concept of every behavior that everybody has a positive intent, wherein anything, any choice that a person makes comes to be the best option they have at that time, no matter what it is. And that ties into how we all have different perceptions in the world. So person A's best choice to person B may look horrible, but to person A who made the initial decision, that is their absolute best option that they feel they have. And that's pretty profound.
Impression of Sheila Granger.
I like Sheila. She's pretty awesome. She's funny, she's vibrant, and she's extremely motivational, empowering to everyone she seems to come in contact with. And you look at her and what she's done in her time, and I can say, I can do that too. And it's just amazing that with everything that she's taught me and her beautiful, positive attitude, you know, just lets me know that, yeah, I can have my independence and help people the way I want.
Anything you would like to add?
Just that I really think this is a life-changing thing for me. It's kind of what, unbeknownst to me, what I've been building up to for a very long time. And I'm very excited for things to come.
Awesome. See
All
how
right,
easy it
cool.
was?
Yeah, not bad. Cool.
So have you say your name and spell it for me.
Okay, it's Christine Glatz, Christine. Last name is Glatz.
Glatz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thoughts on the course, Christine?
Oh, I'm overwhelmed. This is the best thing I've done in my whole life. Amazing. I'm so excited. I'm going to start my own business, actually making a difference in the world. Learned more than I could ever imagine. And all the practice just was amazing because it proved to us that we could actually do it. You didn't get to do that. Sometime you've got to try it. It's just.
What, here's a question that I haven't asked anyone yet, is when you bring that first test subject or your partner under induction,
Mm-hmm.
and it works,
Yes.
how How empowering is that?
It is amazingly empowering. I mean, you just don't think you can do it, and all of a sudden you realize this person is practically passed out. It's just great to have the ability to help someone to relax. Is just fabulous. It's just fabulous. And then to improve a life after that, I mean, it's great.
Thoughts or impression of Sheila Granger?
Oh, generous, funny, amazing. What a wonderful person. And I just can't, it takes my breath away to think that she came all the way over here to teach us this. Such a good communicator. To bring us from not knowing what we're doing at all in, what has it been, 5 days? Not 4 days?
Yeah.
My goodness. To the point where we're able to work with each other and actually see a result. She's a gifted teacher, and I love her sense of humor, and that helps. And it's so approachable, you can ask her anything.
If there's someone sitting on the fence, about taking this course.
You should never sit on the fence. Just jump right over. Best thing I've ever done.
Anything else you'd like to add, Christine?
Thank you. I just, for Dave to have let me know about this and bring me into it, and then for Sheila to have come and made herself so available, I'm just overwhelmed.
But a good overwhelmed.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Best thing I've done in my life. Can't wait to see what's going to happen from here.
Awesome.
Thanks.
So where should my eyes look, I guess, is my thing.
We're just having a
Oh,
conversation.
sweet. All right. I'm like, oh, I thought you were going to be there. Oh, this is easy then.
Okay, so let's make sure that you're still in focus here. First off, hardest question. Say your name and spell it for me.
Okay. My name's Debbie Burns. Spelling is Debbiebburns.
Okay. Tell me about the class. Thoughts, impressions?
Well, it's really interesting to me because I actually have a 4-year degree in public health and wellness. And so my whole major in college was studying behavior change. And for years and years and years, I've been trying to help people quit smoking, make all these major lifestyle changes. But it's always, the format is always, it's going to take you 8 weeks to make this change or 10 weeks to make this change. So I think she literally taught me more skills about behavior change in this class than my whole major combined. Like the most direct ways for people to help people impact their whole life. So I'm really excited about that. Mm-hmm.
So, impression or thoughts on Sheila Granger?
She's really compassionate about what she does. That's quite evident. She has a really amazing way with connecting to all her students and her clients. You can just tell that she is very compassionate. She takes it. She's got a fun way of doing it, but yet she's serious because this is your life. So she wants to help you. It's like she's sacred about it, I guess, is the way I look at it.
If someone's sitting on the fence, whether or not they want to take this course or not, what would you say to that person?
I would say if you have any interest in people whatsoever and you love working with people, that this would be an amazing way to work with people. Because any way that somebody wants to enhance their life, there's a way to do it.
And if there's one nugget that you're going to walk away with that, is that top on the list?
I would say I'm really excited because it's such a creative modality. You're helping someone else use their own imagination to make this amazing change in their life. And it's never going to be the same after that, so who wouldn't want to do that?
One of the questions I haven't asked anyone yet is, it almost is like late night cable, you know, unlock the hidden secrets within me.
Yeah.
What do you know, how do you combat that? What do you say to somebody that, you know, may get that feeling of late night cable, you know, it's just get rich quick scheme type?
Oh, okay. I'd say try it. Try it and decide for yourself what you feel like afterwards. Take something simple that you've always thought about wanting to change, some pattern in your life that's not working for you, and try it and see what happens, because you'd probably be very surprised at the results.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Let's see. I'm really glad that I waited. I've been wanting to do hypnosis for a long time, but I'm really glad that I found this group of people to work with this instructor. I feel like this was absolutely the right decision at the right time. And I think we're building a really strong network of like a support team that we can work with. So I'm really, really feel a lot of gratitude that this was the environment.
Awesome.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. First question is always the hardest. Say your name and spell it for me.
Cheryl Broderick. It's Cheryyle. And then Broderick is Broderick.
Cheryl, spell your first name for me.
Cheryyle.
Okay. Thoughts on the course so far?
Mind blowing. Just a lot of information. I'm hoping it's all sinking in. It's feeling better and better every day, and the more and more we practice, it's really been helpful to help that reinforce that knowledge by using it. You know, you can sit there and see, I'm talking in my soft voice again. You know, you can sit in a seminar day after day, and unless you're actually going to use it, it's never going to become a reality in your life. So I've really enjoyed the practice sessions. It's made me feel a lot more confident in my abilities. I kind of always thought I could do it, but I wasn't really sure because I'd never had a chance to really do it, really actually work with someone and work with some people I didn't know. So I have been able to work with a few people that I've never met before and felt very comfortable.
Impressions of Sheila Granger?
Amazing. Yeah, I like her teaching style. I like the examples that she gives. I like her pacing. I'm able to keep up, but I'm not bored. I like her tone, the tone of her voice. It's easy for me to comprehend what she's saying. There's a few words once in a while that we kind of look and wonder what was that? But we're not shy in asking her, what did you mean there? What did she say? Was it tummy bone? Was that what that was?
Oh, tummy button.
Oh, tummy button? Was that what that was?
Yeah,
Okay,
it says
belly button?
button.
Okay, yeah. So it's cute, but no, I love her style of teaching, and I think it's invaluable to have someone in person. You know, we could have maybe learned via Skype, through a book, through a DVD, but there's nothing like having someone there in person and having someone with you, next to you as you're working through it, and actually giving you pointers afterwards, or just giving you confidence and saying you did a good job, or that your pacing was good, or your tone of your voice was good. You know, just those reinforcements.
And if there's anybody that's thinking, I don't know if I want to take this course or not, what do you say to that person?
I think if there's, if it's something that someone would want to learn, if this is something they would really want to be a part of their life and sink in. I think that this is a very well-rounded course that is going to give you all aspects of the subject and let it give you the opportunity to practice it and sink in, and giving real-world examples of all of the topics throughout. That if this is something you truly want to do, then this is the way you need to do it. If you just have a slight interest and you want to just learn about it a little bit, then read it in a book. But if you really want to make this your life, then I think this is invaluable.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I just feel so very, very blessed to be here this week and to be a part of this group of people and to have the honor of having Sheila be my teacher. So I'm just, I feel so much more confident in my abilities at this point. And I just think she's totally amazing. And I don't, I'm just kind of speechless.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.